I am sitting here just moments away from one of the most iconic Best Picture announcements I think I've ever seen. I cannot wait to hear the behind the scenes of how it all went down. I'm just imagining someone telling Al Pacino, hey, you need to wrap it up. We don't want to go over time this year. And to his credit, they didn't go over time. And I've watched that clip 5 times already, and it just gets more and more iconic, and I can't think of a better way to wrap up what I consider to be a fairly successful broadcast tonight. So I'm just walking out of this night very pleased with this year in movies. Let's talk about it. This is going to be a very just unedited, straightforward video. So I think the biggest winners of the night, obviously Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was always going to be a big winner for tonight. It was just a question of how many wins it would have, and it ended up winning 7. I thought the decisions ended on the right ones, where I think Oppenheimer won the ones it was supposed to win, and it gave more opportunity for other films, like Zone of Interest winning Best Sound, which I thought was great, or Poor Things winning Production Design. And I think Poor Things is honestly the other winner of the night for me, winning 4 awards. It kind of won all the production design, costume, hair, and makeup. And then what I consider to be the biggest shock of the night was Emma Stone winning over Lily Gladstone, which is a decision that I kind of like. I don't know. I think I'm torn because I really enjoyed both of their performances. I think at the end, my final prediction was Lily Gladstone was going to win, and then that didn't happen. And now I'm just finding myself trying to stay off social media because I just know that people are not handling this loss properly. This whole Oscar race, it seems like those two were head and head, and it was really hard to tell who was going to take it home. And I think they were just two fantastic performances, and I kind of wish the internet more recognized that. Like, it's okay if you are upset that Lily Gladstone didn't win. I understand that. I understand what that means to so many people as far as representation goes, and her overall performance was just so beautiful and subtle, but I don't think her losing means that we have to hate Emma Stone now. And Emma Stone just doesn't deserve that hate. I mean, her performance was also incredible. One of the best performances I've ever seen. And I think it's very exciting that she now has 2 Oscars at such a young age, especially considering the types of projects that she chooses. This is someone who chooses very interesting roles. I mean, if you watch The Curse this year, you know that the projects that she picks are out there. She takes big swings, and so I'm personally very excited that now she has these awards to kind of recognize the work that she puts into it. At the same time, being sad that Lily Gladstone didn't win an Oscar too. So I think both can exist. I'm disappointed that the internet can't handle more nuanced thoughts like that, where we have to just pit 2 women up against each other. It is what it is, I guess. The other thing with Poor Things, and I love Poor Things. If you've watched my videos, you know it's one of my favorite films of the year. But I think with it winning, I'm very nervous that more average movie-going people, the everyday people in my life that don't watch a lot of films, are going to now want to check this out. And I almost don't want them to, because I don't think this is an accessible film. And I'm sure the average person turning this on won't get it, won't like it, and will honestly probably despise it. Specifically with, I think, the approach it takes and the style it has, but also the content matter itself. I don't think it's a film for everyone. And while I personally, love it, I'm just now nervous that it's going to become one of those mainstream movies that everyone wants to check out, especially because it won the most awards of the night outside of Oppenheimer. The other awards that I really appreciate tonight, The Boy and the Heron winning Best Animated Feature, which is one that I didn't predict or see coming, but am very pleased by. And then Wes Anderson winning his first Oscar, even though him and Miyazaki both weren't there tonight to accept their awards. And Wes Anderson, I mean, we knew this was going to happen. I do think it's a little unfortunate that it had to be for a short film, especially because he has given us so many amazing full-length feature films over the years. But nevertheless, I'm glad he's getting recognized for something. And I mean, Henry Sugar was an amazing film. Yeah, I don't know, I'm looking over these other awards, what else is there even to say? For the most part, it was rather predictable. I think my predictions ended on 19 out of 23, which is honestly not as good as I was hoping, especially because it seemed like it was going to be a predictable year. I'm very happy for Godzilla -1. I'm happy Anatomy of Fall got the screenplay. American Fiction, it's good. It's a good film. It's a good screenplay. So I'm not completely upset by it. And then I think it's just like mostly Oppenheimer and these other kind of short films. Overall, I am very pleased with how the night all kind of turned out. And it didn't feel like a lengthy broadcast. I think it was about 3.5 hours, which feels really quick hitting. And I'm not even sure what they cut. Like, I'd be very curious to see a comparison between previous years to see what was missing, how they managed to pull this off, because everything felt like it had enough time to breathe. The speeches were great. I did really enjoy how for the acting nominations, they had 5 previous winners kind of talk about each nomination. I thought that was really well done, and I enjoyed it. The music performances were, pretty good. Ryan Gosling absolutely destroying the stage. I don't think there was any other way to perform that song other than what he did, and he gave it his all. But yeah, I mean, like, the bits were funny. Like, Jimmy Kimmel, I think he does a solid job. We did, of course, get the kind of lazy jokes with Robert De Niro having young girlfriends and Killers of the Flower Moon being too long of a film. And so I kind of wish that we could get a host that seems to understand the movies a little bit better. John Mulaney, perfect example. I know everyone's been saying it this award season, but tonight he shows up and pretty much just proves how he does know movies. A very funny spiel about Field of Dreams that I can't even remember how it was related, but he's funny, he's sharp, he knows his stuff, and I really hope we can see him host one of these award shows in the future. I'm very optimistic of where the movie industry is going after these awards. I think this previous year was an incredible year for films, and if you watch some of my other videos, you will see that I continue to praise it through all these Best Picture nominees, through my top 10 personal favorite films of the year. And despite, some movies not winning awards, like Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, there are always going to be movies like that are personal to me, but I'm just happy they were nominated. I think in previous years, we wouldn't see a movie like Past Lives even get any recognition on that level. So the fact that it was nominated for 3 awards and now gets that's huge. And so, I don't know, I think I'm hopeful walking away from this award show because all the winners I can at least appreciate. And even if all my picks didn't get picked necessarily, there are very little things to be upset about here. I think every winner is deserving, and call me a sucker, but I just still really enjoy the Oscars when we get to celebrate an amazing year in film. So, like I said, it's my rambling thoughts. Please let me know what you think. Was this a good year for the Oscars? Were there any major snubs that you're upset about? I would love to hear your thoughts below, so please drop a comment. If you want to see more content this coming year, consider subscribing. Until then, I will see you next time.